Hello everyone, it is me once again. You end up, you got a little bit of updates on the end of LA NASCAR's schedule for 2027. Yeah, um, some points that I might be that's yet to be confirmed. I put into three ways at the end of some sort because it's still in work in progress. But the end of some sort, but there's some already things already did ruled in, and I hate to say this, there's gonna be points that I will get myself disappointed about at the end of for this update because some of the things that I might be very happy with, some things I just will not be happy at this point. This is kind of makes sense why later on. Here we go. So the yet I found out if you really want to the end of like I said, if fans really wanted to put Daytona in only in the duels and Daytona 500 for next year, well, it's sadly to say that's not gonna happen. The Clash is returning to Daytona. I think the reason is though, part of the Clash somewhere else will hurt the TV ratings. If the TV rating, if that's what get no TV ratings, they will not get paid. If that's what not get paid, they will fold the whole entire series. And the fold means NASCAR will never exist anymore. So that means that, like I said, without Daytona, NASCAR is dead. So deal with it. So let's see if that's gonna be all it is. Atlanta this is the end of back at the end of is the second race and even later on in the summer. And the Coke 0400 is returning, guaranteed already, and the Marcus Glenn is now moved to the playoff race. The reason is though, NASCAR just does not like having Marcus Glenn in the spring. I kind of get why. I think the reason is the All Star race is probably this year's in Dover, and NASCAR does not. A lot of fans do not like Dover as an All Star race because A, it's not held in the dark. Because as you know, every All Star race held in the dark, as you know, and that kind of screws everything up at the end of for All Star tradition in the held in the middle of the day. Anyway, which is gonna be it is, and which is A and B. Dover is not doing very well as a NASCAR track, so I think NASCAR is planning to remove Dover from the schedule, and they end up in abandoning it for sure because it's because of loss of ticket sales, so they're not surprised for sure. They're planning to put Bowman Gray as an All-Star race. It's the one YouTuber they did mention. They end up as a rumor that Bowman Gray will be put as an All-Star race instead of Clash. Why is that? This year's Clash was atrocious. A lot of reds because of snow in winter weather, because it's been so cold. You shovel up the snow is just a piece of ass. Gonna delay it all the way to the end of the week for the start there. And even worse, it is so, waiting for the first race is in is so bad because, like I said, it just makes sense. And the end of the top is too. You literally had the NFL moving schedules to the end of a little insult. Because at the end of it, like I said, since the NFL is going to end up pushing more later the schedule, NASCAR is going to might end up be bankrupted, and that happens, so they end up competing with the NFL. So the fans do not want NASCAR to go for bankruptcy, because they end up facing like Champ Card again. They end up folded when into its rival competitor, which is Cars Tour and others, which they do not want. So it makes sense where they figure going from this anyway. Well, yeah, others are still in work in progress, as you know, for sure. For all the way all parts, that they got the Daytona and Atlanta schedule set. In trucks together they have Daytona, Atlanta set, and even St. Pete's is returning next year. So, because of how successful the first race is, And I think IndyCar is welcome to trucks at this point for this, and I'm kind of glad they did. So they feel pretty welcome. So this kind of makes sense. There's already some. And they have new title sponsors, as you know, because of this. Yeah, and I found out that Federer. This is the thing that they get really get disappointed about. I was hoping for the rotation races and the chip races, and obviously this year's gonna be Homestead, next year's gonna be probably in Vegas or Atlanta or some sort or somewhere right on there. Well, NASCAR decides to fucking scrap it and to keep it at Homestead for next year. Yeah, I feel pretty disappointed because this is exactly what NASCAR do not want to do, is to be able to keep it repeating. This is the same issue that what happened to we had to Phoenix. They kept the chip races keep repeating and repeating and repeating until freaking weather comes in to change locations. NASCAR is probably returning back to this formula to keep the chip races to be competing and competing and competing. I would say, yeah, I don't like that at all. Like I said, where is the variety or clarity of it in each different races is kind of cool. But seriously though, this indeed should have some type of rotation into this, some different track that it has NASCAR has never been to yet. Say like so I kind of say one of this is yeah, so I'm kind of hoping that they're in like Vegas or Atlanta of some sort, or Bristol, or yeah, or freaking Texas Motor, or Shorter Speedway, or No Smoke Speedway of some sort. They're in a hosting like the NASCAR Championship race, part of the rotation rules of some sort. You know what I'm saying, right? So, I do not like how NASCAR just keep repeating the same track for the NASCAR finals. I just do not like that. I know it's tradition for NASCAR. Everybody want NASCAR to break tradition. Yeah, a lot of fans will not like this because I really want NASCAR to break championship race tradition for good. So, let's see why. So it's kind of makes sense. Because I know NASCAR keeping tradition will bankrupt them. So this kind of makes sense. This is one of those type of things that NASCAR try to avoid and end up trying to do, is to end up continuing this tradition. Because it will bankrupt them. Anyways, this makes sense. So this makes sense. But it says here they end up from here. It says at the reading here says NASCAR has indicted and eventually plans to rotate the season's finale. But NASCAR's vice president of basic communications, Mike Ford, said in February that the plans to return to Homestead next season, but considering rotating in future years. So yeah, the scrap of next year, it kind of afraid it will not happen until probably 2028, 2029, or if not later on next decade. That means, yeah, and I think they'll leave it on hold, if not scrap it altogether, keeping the tradition around it, keeping the same track. I think the reason is NASCAR pay, and they're gonna pay for every track at the end of for the end of 4 hosting the final on this one. Because like I said, it is a huge championship race in the winter trophy in some sort. And most cities that don't have the money at this point, they're in the Ford hosting the championship race at each different track. And they need worse. NASCAR's had to pay that on top of it too. and then as a no. So yeah, like I said, if the city can't pay for that and of some sort, how else are they to do good? At the end of this, it could be like some sort. So it's kind of like NASCAR's gonna keep spending millions after millions after millions after millions of some sort for holding each championship race at this point. So I kind of see where he gets one now. Feel pretty disappointed it's gonna get held on the same track because that's not what the fans wanted. That's not what I wanted either. So we know a lot of people really want to see the rotation, but the one problem is though. Yeah, they kind of afraid like Steve Jobs, so they did to try to put Apple computers on the same market as Microsoft, but they with different manufacturers. But Apple computers are of some sort in the competitive speak. Steve Jobs says, if we continue doing something like this, we will go bankrupt. So I think that's because kind of doing the same way because if it held it's the NASCAR championship finale at each different track, that will bankrupt NASCAR. So do you want NASCAR to go bankrupt? So because you really wanted NASCAR to bankrupt? Because that's what you really want to do is just allow NASCAR to go bankrupt. This, this is kind of the direction the way it is. If I know for sure. As I tell you the rumors later on. Yeah, here's the rumors. When they're coming in, so some sort is still yet to be confirmed by the rumors. One rumor is Southern California. People do really want NASCAR to keep in Southern California, but as enough for Coronado was supposed to be like a one-off race in NASCAR. And at this point, to the end of it, because of NASCAR's 250th birthday. So this is the point of a one-off race. This is held only one time. The thing about this is, so the NASCAR fans are trying to keep the NASCAR racing in Southern California, but had to find a replacement in Coronado. I might be more really recommend is held at Willow Springs. On the Willow Springs, never held NASCAR for over 30, 40 years, so it makes sense. And also got the Thermal Club. Thermal Club is a track right next to Salton Sea area. What is this? Held IndyCar for 3 years straight. 2 or 3 years, and I'm in the guessing, so it's possibly good there. One YouTuber did recommend Laguna Seca. That is I don't think that's good really wanted it based at Laguna Seca. I know it is in SoCal, I get that, but it's in Monterey, right near Los Angeles. But the problem is though with Laguna Seca is the corkscrew. And NASCAR's gonna find a way how to make the corkscrew a little bit more safer for the stock cars to race at. Otherwise they had to go find a way to go work around that corkscrew. So it makes sense. Which is gonna add more turns at Laguna Seca the way it is to go around the corkscrew. So the way it is. So yeah. And the other rumor that I think I might have found out is related to Chicago. There's rumors that the NASCAR is planning to bring NASCAR back to the NASCAR street circuit in downtown Chicago. Because I know, like I said, they forgot to renew it for this year, so they'll probably returning next year for Chicago street circuit. So that means NASCAR is going to use Chicagoland as a one-off track, as a no. Yeah, but the thing about one-off tracks is only meant for one-off. So yeah, So that's kind of how it is, for sure. So, and the another rumor is I think NASCAR might plan to get rid of Rockingham in I think in the freaking old I think it was in trucks or by all parts is to get in yeah NASCAR's plan to remove one Rockingham races from one of the series though. I think the reason is though is a lack of funding. If they end up if they only keep Rockingham as one race from one series. Kind of a little disappointing in the end to say that. Because on the Rockingham is supposed to be a grand return to NASCAR of some sort for the end of for a series. Well, the thing about this is though, if we don't have funding for the end of holding the track, it kind of makes easy to they get lose off the schedule. So it kind of makes sense. So it makes sense where we're then supposed to go from there. But which is another rumor. So, so I think one final rumor is found out Dover is probably be removed from the NASCAR schedule as a final rumor. Yes, after a horrendous All-Star race at Dover, because the ratings of some sort, because they how Fox I get that, but they end up it's some sort of related in the future. But I think but there's not much of ticket sales at Dover because they have lack of ticket sales at Dover for that race. I think NASCAR's plan to remove Dover from the NASCAR schedule completely. So, because they're planning to the end of replace the track of some sort. Also, there is also rumors that National Fairgrounds will be added to the schedule for the replace the National Super Speedway. I I think that's gonna be unlikely. So yeah, under the rumors to the end of for National Super Speedway, they end up switch into a National Fairgrounds. It's almost been increasing, but it's been a little bit. But I do not think it's gonna be possible. So especially how the city nationals are really concerned about the noise complaints already. But yeah, it's for sure. So yeah, so it's kind of makes sense. Also, yeah, the problem is NASCAR's planning to renovate National Fairgrounds of some sort. The problem is, since National at Steve Stadium occupies a lot of land of some sort, you literally had to, some way, had to co-host together with two separate venues. So, yeah. So that's gonna give me another rumor for sure. Yeah, and I think one last rumor, which is my own rumor, not anyone else's rumor, but it's my own. Yeah, I think it's not gonna happen next year, so I might be thinking in the future, but it's not related to the video. I'm gonna tell you in a future video about my own rumor, but I think the one final rumor for reality by the fans is I think there is is well, it's kind of related to it's kind of related to I hate to say this because I don't think it's gonna happen because there's some sort of fans really want to do it too, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Yeah, I think it's kind of related to Coda. Yeah, there's rumors that the NASCAR might get rid of Coda from the schedule because a lot of fans in the see Coda. It's kind of like another roller coaster strain, and for a lot of fans viewership and some sort. And especially it's not exactly as popular compared to Formula One and also MotoGP. which that's kind of false in some sort. And they're planning to switch it to Virginia International Raceway of some sort instead. And I would say, yeah, I'm sorry, but Virginia's not much better than Coda, and also Virginia's gonna be probably be I don't know summer race and they end up summer race in the inside. Yeah, within the for the in season tournament. As another roll course there is for sure. So that is kind of like a third race in Virginia. Only have Richmond and Martinsville already. As you know, it's like a third roll course for them. It's not smart per se. Because a lot of fans are thinking they switch Richmond to Virginia, but I'm saying yeah, no, unless they really wanted a mess. With the other head of fans that try to say losing Virginia to this, yeah, I don't think it's a smart idea. Despite all the years of rumor to get rid of Dover altogether and replace with this, so because of a lackluster All-Star race. But still, just saying right now, I don't think it's gonna end like it's gonna happen. So, 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 yeah, and one last thing is that one last rumor is gonna probably be for sure is, cause of the last rumors I think is most likely will happen is it probably is is uh is kind of like a schedule change for probably for for uh for Charlotte and Talladega playoff races being non-playoff races for sure. I think the reason is though is competition, so it makes sense. Because on the NASCAR will do that for some sort. But yeah, but also and I add some four final disappointments inside this video before ending this. Some sort. Yeah, I think one rumors I think it might not happen anymore. There's some sort is international races. Yeah, international racing might not be back next year. I think it's because of the U.S. government's issue of foreign policy issues, but there might be a reactive issue. And plus, the only track that I think that they might mostly switch up to is probably Brazil. Because I know Brazil's been rumored, same for Saudi Arabia, though. So, because I know Mexico has issues all the way with the U.S. because of issues with the border issue, and then get Canada issues, and they end up lack of approval rating the U.S. has in Canada is going to end up cause issues with the foreign policies. For sure, for they end up NASCAR into their own country. So, I think the kind of international racing is pretty much dead for NASCAR. So see why. The second disappointment of the probably be is well, NASCAR in Washington and even Colorado plan might be scrapped. The reason is though is why NASCAR's why scrap that plan is because I think that NASCAR got rid of Portland, Oregon for the schedule last year because of the scrap of the state of Washington too, because there's probably no market for them. And then they got one in Colorado, and because of Colorado's economy is down the garbage recently thanks to the issues of Pikes Peak. So it makes sense right now for sure too. So, so it kind of makes sense where I get for this too, but so the fun for sure. The third disappointment thing is another fans but real do not like this, but it end up it's kind of makes sense anyway. Is I think Bowman Gray Stadium will not be getting any points race anytime soon. So I might agree with this one guy there. It most likely see Bowman Gray Stadium hosting the All Star race for next year. Yes, I know it is gonna be disappointing because that's a kind of like a boring hosting the All Star race with no, which means because of that, it's no pit road challenge. So yeah, it's not basically gonna be no pit road challenge next year for the All Star racing for sure. Which because Bowman Gray Stadium does not have a pit road. So so it makes it a little bit obvious the way to get for sure. So so one final disappointment is kind of related only towards trucks. Trucks of some sort. If you're watching the truck series in the last couple of years, of some sort, there's heavy rumors that Linerock might not return. You know, I know it's a historic track, I get that, but there's gonna be rumors that Linerock might not be back next year. So yeah, it's very very disappointing, and I had to mention that right now, but yeah, I think right now is so. I think the reason is ratings. You got all the way. So the other trucks is only struggling all the way with IRP as a no, but have Lime Rock, which is gonna be the smaller state in a smaller area. It's which is right next to the more dominant New Hampshire. So yeah, if I'm really the trucks, I'm more rather taking New Hampshire more Speedway over a Lime Rock like every day. So it makes sense. So this is the one final disappointment. I'm pretty sure NASCAR's gonna might get rid of Lime Rock because of ratings, and also right top of that too. Connecticut has I think Connecticut, which is near New York City, is just kind of has no NASCAR fan base around there. It's kind of like so you literally just put a NASCAR race in the middle of unknown, because at the end of which the fan base is not pretty big there compared to New Hampshire or some sort. Because since New Hampshire is right near the Boston area, so it's kind of makes sense. But I think they're trying to do is they're trying to get loud NASCAR teams of some sort. They're trying to get a taste of some sort. But it's kind of makes sense for sure. So yeah, that's it for the NASCAR updates to the end of the 2027 schedule. Hope you like it. Like and subscribe. Ring the bell to do not miss any more of my videos. See you today after the more official NASCAR schedule later on in the schedule. Or later on in the in the channel or some sort I meant to say. So see you guys next time. Joshua Cat Human. And funny I'm out here. And otherwise, the ending, one thing, the last thing to say is to see you guys next time, and funny and out of here for sure.